kind of with concerns, and you need to be able to, first of all, try and help them, but also keep that information between you and that staff member, or if it needs to go up higher. But again, it comes down to like need to know things. Certainly, again, you don't share that with everyone on staff. Your credibility is a major thing, especially in situations like this. If you lose the trust of one of your staff members, it's very hard to get it back. So you need to make sure that you go about situations so that you can see the trust is there and that you're trying to help them or figure out any problems that they have.
And you guys hear Greg saying need to know. That's not because we want to keep information from you as RDs or we want to keep information from the RAs. It comes more to the legal standards that the less people that know, the less people that are legally bound to that information. And that's for the protection of you and the protection of the RAs. When you step into this position as an RD, I'm sure you can ask the four now, you learn a lot more about the business side of Tropicana than you have ever even heard of as an RA. And you'll get to understand why there's some information that's privy to others that is not. Okay.
And then kind of going along with the being a confidant point, we also have that you should be a friend with your RAs. Obviously, we kind of always are like that. We're a tight-knit bunch, but they shouldn't need to know all the details that you know, because there's the different hierarchies, and like we talk about vent partners, you can't be having your staff venting with RAs unless it's, if it's life things, it's still probably not good just to kind of keep the hierarchy, but it might happen. But especially with problems that are kind of happening inside, putting that on them is just a burden that they kind of shouldn't have, but also there may be things that they don't need to know. All right, so now we're going to the RD to resident. Obviously, your main interaction with residents, besides just like eating and all the normal stuff, is going to be in hearings. So when you have hearings, you get information that one is, again, it's legally binding stuff if it ends up going all the way to court, if they have eviction or anything like that. So you need to make sure you keep that information between you and them, and whoever needs to know. If you need to talk to Dave or Anna about what's happening with this. I know right now we certainly have more and more possible eviction hearings that we're having, and we definitely need to talk to Dave and Anna about it, but we can't be kind of just, you need to keep the trust of the residents, because they see you kind of as a judge. You need to be non-biased and not kind of, you need to be impartial to kind of how the information is presented. And if you end up sharing that information with someone that doesn't need to know it, they feel like you're not doing your job. And in the end, we are here for the residents. We need to kind of make sure that we are serving them, and it's certainly part of our job. And again, if it gets too far, we tell the RAs, when you write up, you do an IR, that is a legal document. So you'll be reading all the IRs when you're doing your hearings. It's illegal, if it gets to eviction, it's completely, can go to court, all the information that is written down, as well as you say with them, all that stuff. So we need to make sure you're careful, you're not kind of being unprofessional, because then that can end up being, well, in my hearing, this person they just wrote me off and all this stuff, and we need to make sure that professionalism is always there throughout. This next point about RD to admin, kind of gone over with RD to RA as well. There's a lot of information that you're going to get from admin staff. Especially, I know when we had RA selection, we have to go through a whole bunch of stuff, and if you're ever talking to Kent, there's so much stuff that they have that we don't even really think of, because residence life is a huge deal in the grand scheme of things in Trop, but it's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes down to how things are run. So once you're kind of privy to all that information, it's only a select few students that actually have that information. You're lucky enough, or unlucky enough, depending on how you see it, to actually have that information. And so obviously you need, again, that confidentiality of, okay, I know this stuff, I can't be talking about, like I have listed here, a distressed student. We've certainly had cases where we have had problems with a student who has any number of different mental problems, and obviously only a few people know, maybe the desk knows about it and they inform Res Life, but that's something that needs to be kept kind of on the down low. I know we've had a few incidences with, like, if there's weapons of any sort, and obviously you don't want to get that information out to too many people, and then this person finds out and they're like, oh, and they go crazy. Not saying that has ever happened, but it's something that we kind of need to take the whole picture, because it's a big deal. So just kind of, I have in closing here a few of the main points. You have to be a professional in whatever you do. This is a real job. Not saying your jobs aren't right now, but there's a lot of eyes that are on you guys, and so how you act, it has huge repercussions on how Trop is seen. Again, you're representing Trop, and your actions have consequences. And then this last little point I have on here, I wish he was here actually for this, because when I think of confidentiality, I think of a lot of being professional. And so I kind of wrote down the WWJD, what would Juliet do? Because she, I think, has a great mind for, okay, what would the consequences be if something got out, or if I told information that shouldn't be told, any of that stuff. She's very good at kind of keeping everything in perspective. So just try and think, what would Juliet do in this situation, or how would she handle what's going on right now, so that people get the information that they need, but not too many people get the information so that then it goes viral. But yeah, that's what I got here on confidentiality. You guys have any questions, comments?
very thorough.
Okay, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I just wrote something down. With like your RAs, maybe your friends, being an RD, especially like with a larger staff, you get a lot of RAs coming to you with their problems. So just like the residents come to you guys now with, you know, like whether it's life, whether it's like roommate issues, that's what the RAs are coming to you for. And it's really easy to get caught up in like, you know, mostly I think with a girl, in a girl's perspective, like you get caught up with having girl talk, like they're telling you about their problems, like their feelings, their emotions, and you kind of want to like, instead of just listening and solving them, you want to comfort them by telling them your problems or agreeing with them or disagreeing with them. And that's when you have to continue to remember that you're their advisor. Like you have to remain professional the entire time. And that doesn't mean that you can't goof around and like have fun, but say an RA comes to you with a problem with another RA and they're telling you things that you 100% agree with, and you want to be like, I agree with you, like you're not alone, don't worry, but you can't say that to them. You can just assure them, I'll take care of the situation, I'm glad that you came and talked to me. Like it's just as if a resident was coming to you. That's how you kind of have to talk to them, with confidentiality, that type of thing. And then on that same line, like must act professional, residents look at RAs, but residents look at resident directors as being able to help their problems with RAs. I know with my hearings, a lot of the times at the end, I ask them, I say, are there any problems that you have with RAs, how they've handled situations?